Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 22, May the 24th through the 30th weekly wrap up. So today is a very somber day for me. I'm trying to figure out what I want to say, how I want to address this last week. It's super hard for me at this point to figure out how much of my feelings I end up putting onto video in this video and what I want to say, where I want this to go, things like that. I kind of want to keep my channel and everything like that only about books, trying not to, overstep myself, not even overstep, or I don't know. I knew this was going to be hard. Gosh, I don't know where I want to go with this. I have so many things going on in my head at this point, because if you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know, the world is on fire right now, and it is absolutely crazy. Watching television, watching the news every single day, seeing Twitter timelines and Facebook timelines, Instagram timelines, just filled with craziness. I am by no means under the impression that before this week life was perfect and great and, everything was good and gravy. No. It's hard for me, being a black woman in today's society, to say anything or be more on one side of the line than the other, because words get twisted, opinions get twisted. I just, having video of your feelings just can be taken out of context. Little clippets will be taken probably of this video and twisted and turned and done with however they want to be done with. Yeah, I just don't know where to go from there. So I'm gonna put this out, I guess, once. I'm not going to revisit this. I don't even know that I'm gonna have comments on this video, just because I don't know. I am black. I am, for the most part, pro law enforcement. I have been a law enforcement officer. I have supported law enforcement as a wife, as a spouse, as a family member, as a friend. I don't know where to go from here. Only 11 years before my birth was it even legal for me to be in the relationship and marriage that I am in currently. Interracial relationships in the United States are obviously brand new, fairly new. Gosh, 53 years old of being legal. I mean, as a black woman, I can't be, in society's eyes, I can't be pro law enforcement, because so many law enforcement officers are showing their asses. And I was under no impression when I was in the military that there weren't racist people in the military. But the one thing I can say about the military is don't say anything racist because your ass will be hemmed up. That was a huge adjustment for me when I got out of the military. And it's very, very hard for me to watch the videos. It's very hard for me to watch how police officers are acting. It's hard for me to watch how citizens are enraged, and it enrages me. Half of the cases that are out there in the media, those fucking cops should be fucking arrested for. Innocent people are dying. And it enrages me. Some of the cases are very much justified. They are fucking criminals. No matter what I say, I'm going to be wrong because I'm a black woman, and on one side, if I am not completely pro-black, I am turning my back against the black community. If I am completely black, then I am turning my back on the brothers and sisters that I have in law enforcement. I have to walk a fine line of being in the middle and looking at everything, all of the evidence, and using my mind and using my brain, using the knowledge that I have received over my 42 years of life, and make a decision from there. So, I don't know. I don't know. So, for all those that have come to my channel just recently because of the follow trains, things like that, yes, I see you. Are you going to stay? Are you going to watch my videos? Are you going to enjoy my content? Are you going to comment on my content? If you're not, you can leave. I don't need you. It's not about the numbers. It's about talking about books for me. So, if you're here just to colorify your subscription box, please go ahead and unsubscribe from me. I don't need you. And you know, I do see it. I see it. I'm up 245 subscribers as of right before I videotape this. And my views have went down. I'm now down to 45,000 views. And my revenue, because I have monetized videos on my channel, is down $2 whole. Woo! $2 whole, but I'm down. I was up, and now I'm down. All because new subscribers came in, but you're not fucking watching my videos. So, if you're just here to colorify, go ahead and unsubscribe. If you're here to talk about romance books and find some new authors, find some new different romances, please stay, please comment. I love interaction. Let's talk about books. So, the books that I read last week, let's get to it, because I have some thoughts about those as well. So the first book that I finished last week was Someone by Kendra Danielle. This is an interracial contemporary novella. I give it 4 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I read it as an ebook from Kindle Unlimited. I also read it for Contemporary-a-thon, which I was low-key doing. This is a black author. I tried to go back and get the link for someone. However, it either looks like the link was broken, maybe the author took it down, or something or another, but it can't be found right now. But I really enjoyed it. I am so glad that I had the chance to read it. This book follows Colton and Whitney. Colton is a CEO of or ex-football player. Yeah, CEO of a company. and he has a secret crush on one of the women that works downstairs, and he goes downstairs every single morning to get his coffee, and come to find out, Whitney, that woman that he has a crush on, they actually knew each other when they were in college, and she gave her virginity to him. However, he didn't recognize her when they met again, and their banter is so cute, and the reasons behind all of the gosh, the not being recognized and things like that are so realistic. I don't want to give that away because it would be a bit of a spoiler, but I found the push and the pull and the angst between the two characters for being a novella was so spot on, and just really, really enjoyed that little snippet of something, and I would love to read more. I would have given it higher stars, but there were some glaringly obvious grammar issues and word issues and editing things that were going on in the book, but I really enjoyed it. So if the author sees this video, or if you know this author, let them know, encourage them to, write more, and, I'd love to read it. The next book that I finished was Xeni by Rebekah Weatherspoon. This is another interracial contemporary. I give it 3.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I listened to it as an audiobook for Contemporary-a-thon for peachish color on the cover. This is another Black author. This book follows Xeni, who is taking care of her aunt's estate, who is an R&B star. She passed away, and Xeni ends up inheriting her property, as well as a large amount of money and a husband, because the aunt requested or put in her will that Xeni should marry Mason, who is this Scottish guy musician that was being mentored by the R&B star, and wants the best for Mason and everything like that. So him and Mason and Xeni end up doing this sort of fake relationship, fake marriage that turns into something more. This book is gender fluid and sexuality fluid, and I really sort of enjoyed that. It did become a little bit overwhelming, to the point where some things that ended up happening within the story didn't necessarily fit with the story, and it seemed a little pushed, but I could definitely understand why there are so many people, for me, it seemed pushed, but I can definitely understand why so many people enjoyed this story and can relate to it. The next book that I finished was The First Score by Amie Knight. This is a new adult story. I give this book 4.25 stars. I give it 2 Steam fans. I read it as an ARC, however it is live, so you can go out and check it out right now. This book does have content warning for mental health, and that includes cutting and abuse. This book follows Hazel and Oliver. They have been friends since they were kids. He is younger, and he noticed Hazel because Hazel was his sister's best friend. She started coming over, and he was this cocky little boy. He was so cute. Amie does a really fun job at their first meet cute when they are kids, and I really enjoyed it. The two of them end up growing up together. He's in college at the point where they start their sort of relationship, and Hazel is a gamer. She is really into gaming and not into relationships, but Oliver ends up making sort of this catfish sort of profile to interact with Hazel, and the two of them develop a friendship, and from there some other things end up happening, and I really enjoyed the story. It was heartbreaking at times because of things that the two of them have to overcome and deal with together. The next book that I finished was Love Conquer Battlefield of Love #3 by Hart. I place this in contemporary. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 2 Steam fans. I read this as an ebook. There is content warning for domestic violence with scenes and domestic violence survivor. This book follows Nina and Kyle. Nina is getting out of a relationship, and Kyle is sort of allowing her the breath that she needs and support that she needs. I don't really want to go too much into what else happens in the story because it would be a spoiler, but those are our 2 characters. They're trying to find their way after things in their lives went wrong, and they're trying to support each other. It was a very supportive story. There are quite a few flashbacks for the characters that could be harmful. As I said, there is content warning for domestic violence. And it was a little bit hard to read at times, but Cary does a good job at not glorifying the domestic violence, but using it as the story progresses to show the growth in our characters and the way that they evolve throughout the story. The next book that I finished was The Hunger Games #1 by Suzanne Collins. This is a young adult dystopian. I don't know if I want to put it as a young adult, but definitely dystopian. I give it 4.25 stars to 4.5 stars. Goodness. 1 Steam fan. I listened to this as an audiobook as a reread. I am doing a special project for this, so I won't get too much into it. As you guys know, the newest book for the Hunger Games series, the prequel, came out, so I decided to do a reread of it, and I am doing a vlog project for it, so you guys will see that in the future. That I'm putting that together. You guys will have real time thoughts and feelings about my reread experience. The next book that I finished was Credence by Penelope Douglas. This I am placing in dark romance. I give it 2.5 stars. I give it 4.5 Steam fans. It was pretty steamy. I read this as an ebook. This has trigger warnings and content warnings for age gap, found quasi familial relations, because the characters within this story have a familial connection in that there is a step uncle and step cousins involved. So they're not related by blood, but they're related by marriage, and I'll get to that in a second. Gosh. There's also a content warning for suicide, depression, and selective mutism. I think that's what they're considering it. It may just be mutism, but know that that's involved as well. So this story follows Tiernan, who her parents are Hollywood stars. However, they pretty much treated her as if she was non-existent. So in their passing, she is pretty much willed as a 17-year-old, which is really, really interesting, since even though the legal age of adultism is 18, I am pretty sure that in most states, a 17-year-old, especially a 17-year-old that has a birthday only 10 weeks after the death of parents, of rich parents at that, of very rich parents, would be considered adults. But that's neither here nor there. So she is willed and put into the responsibility of her step uncle, who has 2 sons, which means her step uncle and her step cousins, and they all live in Colorado up on the side of a mountain that gets snowed in for most of the winter. She arrives just before the snow, and she's still 17. So she gets there. She's a little asshole because of how she was treated with her parents, and she's dealing with their deaths and, you know, all that neglect and things like that. But then she gets there and she has this attraction to her step cousins, but also her step uncle. Why? Why? I don't understand. So, yeah. There is a almost non-consensual sexual assault within this story. I wasn't here for. Why? Why? She constantly or continuously says no within the scene. This is why I'm placing this story in dark romance. Lots of people have told me that, oh, it's just taboo. It's just taboo. Taboo equals dark romance to me. And obviously it's a reader perception when it comes to categorizing and things like that. But the age gap situation too falls into taboo for me. Step uncle? What the fuck? What? So they all three end up having sex at some point. But not to mention, there's a double penetration scene right after a major injury. What the fuck? Seriously. It wasn't a dumpster fire. Well, it was. It was. And it was one of those dumpster fires that it's like a bad accident that you see as you're driving down the road. You see it happening. You see it. You see it. You can foreshadow it happening, but you can't fucking turn away. You're like, it is going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad, but I can't turn away. That's how this book was for me. It was so bad that I could not stop fucking reading. I was like, what? And then when I got to the fucking end of it, I wanted my fucking day back because it took me all fucking day to read it because it is like almost 500 fucking pages long. This book did not need to be 500 fucking pages long. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. The things that end up going on with the townies and why? I don't think there has been one. I've only read 2 Penelope Douglas books, but I haven't found one that I enjoyed yet. I keep wanting to read one of her other ones, but now that I've read this one, I'm like, I don't know that I want to. But some of my friends that I really, value their opinion, like this other book that I'm thinking about reading, but I'm just like, what? Because this is a fucking dumpster fire. Why? Whew. The next book that I finished reading was Catching Fire, which is Hunger Games #2 by Suzanne Collins. Place it in dystopian, give it 5 stars, give it 1 Steam fan, listen to it as an audiobook, and reread as part of my Hunger Games project. Then I also finished Blades of Glory by Toni Aleo. I place this in contemporary novella. I give it 3 stars. I give it 0 Steam fans. I listen to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance. Read Me Romance. And this book is just a novella. It really is. It's just a check-in for all of the characters from Toni Aleo's hockey series. There are so many characters within this story, and it's just a cute little, sweet little check-in. So if you haven't read any of Toni Aleo's books before now, it may prompt you to find out about the characters and go and read those series. But other than that, it was just a really cute, sweet, sort of check-in. It's about hockey teams and the legends from the older characters from one side of the team get back on the ice with the young characters from the same team, and they play a fun game during pre-wedding event, and they raise money for a good cause. And yeah, it's just a check-in. It really was just a check-in, but it was cute. Then the final book that I tried to read last week was Pleasurable Consequences by J.C. Maine, and I DNF'd this book after 2 ebook pages, period. There's the use of the N-word. There is the plot device of cheating. There is also the plot device of racial profiling and possible police racism. Currently, with the world set on fire the way it is, not reading this book. Not doing it. Not doing it. My mental health is more important than doing that. What am I currently reading? I am currently reading Royal Bastard by Avery Flynn. I am really enjoying the story. I am about 20% into it. It is about a man that is super smart and everything like that. Comes to find out he is the heir to a title. He needs to become the new Earl of an area to save that area, and the personal secretary for that soon-to-be former Earl, she has to convince him to come and become the new Earl and learn the ways of being an Earl. The one that needs to become the Earl is an American, and his father was told by his grandfather, who is the current Earl, that he needs to leave his family in America and come back and be the Earl. And that's pretty much what happens. And they're doing the convincing part right now, and I'm really enjoying it, seeing how this unfolds, because the banter between the American Earl or non-Earl, the guy that they're trying to convince to become the Earl, the new Earl, and the secretary is so much fun. There's some tension there. I can see it. I can foresee it coming. I'm also still doing my Hunger Games project, and I am going to be reading Heart Thief by Dukey, which is another book in the Sinister Fairy Tales collection. Super excited for this one. I'm not sure if this is the last one or if there's one more after this, but woo, it has been a ride. I can't wait to get to this one. So let me know down in the comment section if you have read any of the books that I have read. Do any of them sound interesting to you? I'm open to discussion for the stuff that I talked about before, in the lifestyle sort of portion of my video, my feelings. But I will delete any negative, not even negative, any offensive or name calling, anything that is not conducive to conversation will get deleted. Period. There's no reason to try and convince me to change my opinion on anything, so probably don't do that either. Hopefully we'll be back to my regular bubbly self, but I'm going to be taking care of myself as well, so, yeah, there's that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. I have a recommendation form down there as well. However, it's going a little awry. I'm just going to let you guys know that right off the bat. There's a lot of self-pushing down there, in there. There's also some books that have been recommended that I've already actually read, and if you were a follower of my channel, you would know that. So yeah, there's that. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. To my true supporters and my true viewers and true watchers that comment and talk about you know, they've been introduced to so many new authors and books and things like that. I so appreciate you guys. I do. I love you. And I appreciate you. So thank you for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.